Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where three mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now here are your hosts, Darth Jada, Jason Mitchell, and Adam B.
Whoa.
I think he means Harrison Ford.
I'm in. Phrasing.
I'm gonna scoot this
Would
way.
you just once say I didn't kill my wife?
Seriously. Oh, I
Hey,
guess he's not gonna do it.
there's
for us.
worse things to look like than Harrison Ford.
This is true.
You know.
As a lady, I can contend that that's true. Yep.
So we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the microphone in front of my face. Let me see if I can.
Let's see if you're in frame.
Yeah, I'm there.
He's there.
I'll just do like
over
this.
the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
As always.
Posture. Pretend like you're balancing a book on top of your head.
There we go. That's marginally better. Anyway, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have in our studio not a guest. Not a guest.
He is finally the official third co-host of Hindsight is Horrifying.
I had to grow a beard before it could be so.
It was
All
a
right.
prerequisite.
Wait, I've got
if
some
you will.
applause. I have applause on here. Hang on. No, that's not.
We'll wait.
I'm trying to find the sound that we should play announcing that he. There we go.
I like that one.
Nice. Well
I'm so
played.
happy to be here.
We're kidding. That was just a joke. You're still a guest host.
This is what happened.
Shit, I meant to do this one.
I'm taking the soundboard away
Okay,
from you.
all right. Tell them what we're doing tonight.
This is what happens when we're 2 weeks rusty off of doing an episode.
Yeah.
And we're tired from a rehearsal schedule, which will announce the show, because we've got to promote that, don't we, gentlemen?
We do.
The three of us are back in Shakespeare again.
Yes. And,
Phrasing.
Yeah. We're all up in that Shakespeare.
You said we're back in Shakespeare.
Clutch my pearls.
Copyright 2020.
Yeah.
Very good.
By the way, have we told everybody that, if you like phrases like "clutch my pearls,"
We have merchandise for such things.
or autoerotic asphyxiation. We have a whole line, the lemon line.
I like that.
Yeah, the lemon line.
Not to be confused with Lululemon. It's the lemon
No, different lemon. Yeah,
line.
different.
And not lemon lime.
No, that's
the lemon line.
that's the name of the nightclub I'm going to open.
The carotene
No, the lemon
line.
the lemon line.
God.
That's it. Anyway, we do
no.
have merchandise. If you go to hindsight.show, you can
click on merchandise.
Yeah, there's a merchandise link there, and there's stickers and shirts and
Panties.
underwear.
so many saucy things that you can purchase.
The internet is vast.
We have T-shirts too for all you normies out there, in case you're interested.
The panties are unisex, though, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I guess it
Yeah.
depends on how determined you are, Mr. Brown.
I'll squeeze into
But
them. if I need
but
to.
you have to
Oh,
buy
my.
you have to buy the hindsight is horrifying calf. It goes in the front. And
I need to go.
so
Are we doing a film
So
tonight?
NASA is much in the news lately.
I mean, he's never worn this shirt or brought this mug before.
What movie are we doing?
Why don't you tell us, Adam, since it was your pick?
Yeah, rookie, come on.
All right. I believe
on, newbie.
1977, Capricorn 1.
Excuse me, 1978.
78.
Get your shit
Capricorn.
together.
It was shot in 77. That's what I use as my
I thought it was
reference point.
77.
It's not according to the red notes.
All right, I'll allow it.
Read a book.
With Jimmy Brolin as Brew, or Brew Baker.
Jimmy, if you
Jimmy.
will.
Yeah,
Pardon
yeah.
me. And
Now, who played? Go ahead. I
Sam
wanna
Waterston.
hear- from Capricorn 1.
We can get into that story later.
Yeah, we'll touch that later.
That's actually an inside joke inside of an inside joke.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
never happen
yeah.
on this show. That's
But
not
I
what we're
thought
known
it would
for.
be
Inception.
I thought it would be an appropriate film, A, because we are ready to leave Earth and head toward Mars
Sure.
in the near future.
Wait a
That's
minute.
what-
Did you guys plan a weekend trip without me? Like,
Well, it's
Well, okay. Look under your seat.
wait, where's Oprah when you need her?
Yeah.
What the hell?
So Elon Musk, who, if you're watching this 20 years from now, was a very famous person who is into space travel and helping people pay money online, PayPal.
Yes.
He is planning a trip to Mars, and this movie is about a trip to Mars.
Sort of.
Kind of. Not
And a little
really.
hint of conspiracy theories, because we like conspiracy
Hey,
theories.
point at the microphone.
Well,
Conspiracy theories. Is that better?
oh, much better. We
There,
don't hear your
that's-
dulcet
okay.
tones.
That's it.
There. Oh, it's a
much
it
is-
it's a directional mic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it has a cardioid pattern. A cardioid.
You'd think he'd never been here before. What the hell
Hello.
is going on?
I've always had
Yeah.
cardioid pointing right at me. This is my
Well-
first time it looked away.
Well, see, the problem is, you were in the Navy. You were doing the nuclear stuff. You had people that you paid
That's
to handle
right.
all the acoustic
Technicians who
stuff.
handled
Yes.
all of these things for me. I was mid-level management.
So fancy.
I clawed and scratched my way to mid-level management.
Oh, don't we all?
Now, are we able to watch the movie as we talk about it?
Yes, if one of you pulls it up on your phone,
Absolutely we can.
because my I don't have a bleep on here, but I'll bleep it in
Wah,
post.
I'm gonna have to turn
wah, wah.
The piece of shit Dell.
Dell, give us money.
Yeah.
Well
The
done.
piece of shit Dell laptop that I own crapped out, so I'm using a different system, and so I have to use a monitor that would normally be playing the movie for us. So here's some inside baseball. We call this Darth tries to pull a movie up on her phone.
Well, you may have to do the Wi-Fi for me since we're at your studio. It's not agreeing with Amazon Prime, so I'm going to see if we can get this going. So exciting! The times we live in, my God.
Are we pausing for
No.
station
No,
identification?
no,
Technical difficulties.
I'm not cutting away.
I know you're not. Oh no, I'm gonna make you find the Wi-Fi.
We call it Wi-Fi. Did you bring the boggles?
My phone is honestly not being agreeable with
Oh.
this right now. So I'm gonna play.
Wait a
with
minute.
it
Your
little bit
phone.
longer.
Your phone didn't get. Damn.
This from the guy who can't even do the damn soundboard.
Sorry, I hit the.
I did a
yeah.
better job on Idiocracy
All right,
than
all
you're
right.
doing right now.
So no, your phone didn't get damaged by any chance.
Oh dear
During the
God.
adventures last night. Let's
Yeah.
just talk about the movie.
Yep, Prince Valiant over here helping me out with that last night. Yeah, I really can't pull it up. No kidding. So, here,
So, yeah,
have fun with that, Mr.
Okay.
Director.
So
So-
this is a movie that is part of sort of an oeuvre of movies in the 1970s. Yeah, I know. Yeah, someone's getting light in college. We know.
Eat Barbadurco.
There were a lot of great conspiracy movies, like political conspiracy movies, like 3 Days of Condor and
All the President's Men.
All the President's Men. Yeah, and this movie fits right in there with that. My favorite part, I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, the actors.
Elliot Gould.
Elliot Gould.
Yes.
He's the man. Yeah. He should be Captain Jack Sparrow. If they had made the movies back then. Yeah, in the 70s.
No, he would have been able to pull it off so easily.
I just had an aneurysm. But I have to bring this back to Elliot Gould, actually, because he's in this movie, and so is the actress who plays Joey's mom on Friends. And Elliot Gould plays the father of Monica and Ross on Friends. Yeah, you can't make it work either, can you?
Well, no, because it's locked. I don't have your...
Oh, it's locked now.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, there we go.
Anyhow.
And what year was Capricorn 1 released again?
1977.
It said 78 on Amazon Prime.
Ooh,
Oh, damn it.
Ooh, boo.
Now I'm mad at Amazon Prime.
Shun and hiss.
It specifically said 1978 on Amazon Prime. That's why I wrote it down in the red.
Well,
Notes.
It's a poor craftsman that blames her tools. Speaking of tools,
So my eyes and my hands? Okay, whatever. But so let's give a synopsis of the movie, not just about conspiracy theory and such. So you've got James Brolin, Sam Waterston, and we haven't mentioned the most important part of the team gang.
Orlenthal, Jay, Simpson,
Simpson!
the Juice.
Is the J? Is it for James? Isn't it? 'Cause I was trying to remember that today. What was because the new Orenthal.
All I can think
Yeah.
when I think OJ is orange juice. So I
the
don't remember.
Juice.
The Jews.
Yeah, especially since they nicknamed him the Juice. So
Yeah.
I have no idea.
He
But-
was the superstar in Rent-A-Car, by the way, back then.
But you have these 3 astronauts who are supposedly going to Mars, but then the government intervenes due to budgetary restrictions.
Well, no.
No, they got bad equipment.
They got bad equipment.
Life support.
But it's also a budget thing.
Well,
because the president's all about it's got to make money. You've got to get a project that makes the country money.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Which we could turn this entire episode into how we screwed that whole story up.
What do you mean?
Well, in the 1970s, whenever we decided, hey, we went to the moon, that's enough.
Yeah, and then we quit.
We quit.
We quit.
We quit. Yeah. It's a timely movie in a sense because it was timely in 1977 because we had canceled everything. They were still doing the Apollo Soyuz,
right.
and Space Shuttle was on its way, even though it didn't have any place to go to. But, did you get it to work?
I did.
Oh, fantastic.
Because you got the Wi-Fi going. Thank you.
Oh.
Fantastic. Well, I believe this young man needs to see it also, right?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
He doesn't tend to watch it.
I can play off of you guys.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so what were you saying, Jason?
Well, no, it was very timely because, this was the first time in history, the first time since the Apollo missions, that people were seriously questioning if it ever happened at all.
And why is that? Let's give our hindsighters some insight.
Well, mainly because people are stupid. But I actually, no, I'm not going to name his name, but a very, very, very intelligent person that I know. He's an attorney. He's a partner in a law firm, and he doesn't believe in the moon landing.
Is he a flat earther?
No, I was just about to ask.
I don't think he is. I haven't asked him. I haven't spoken to him since the whole flat Earth thing came back. But definitely doesn't believe in the moon landing.
Wow.
Well, the Japanese have sent orbiters with cameras that have gone around the moon and have actually seen the hardware that remains on the moon.
There's so many.
Define hardware.
Yeah.
LEM. Lunar extraction.
There you go.
Excursion module, actually.
Yeah.
Think an extraction, I don't know what it is.
Oh, my. So
it's a Catholic thing.
Basically what you're saying is it was in vogue to make movies about conspiracies regarding the moon landing, planets.
Well, and also, too, this was in the post-Watergate era where this was in the I can't trust my government.
After Forrest Gump disproved everything, it was pretty tough.
So this was in this movie sort of developed organically, which is kind of cool. And it's a good movie.
This is actually a fantastic speech here, and I wrote down some of the quotes because I had to make fun of our new co-host, Hindsighters, because there's a great quote where, what's his name, Jim, the guy who's manipulating all the astronauts throughout the movie? Uncle Jim,
Hal Holbrook?
No, but Jim is his character's name.
I don't even, he's Hal.
He was basically talking about how he's got a history with Jim Brolin, or James Brolin, because I'm not as familiar with Mr. Brolin as you are, apparently. But he goes, yeah, you've known me since I was having a hot love affair with this slide rule. And I had to tease Mr. Brown about that. Because I was like, oh, no wonder you love this movie. Because
I love slide rules.
Wasn't a
Who
slide
hasn't
rule?
had an affair with a slide rule? At least once. Prove it. Anyway.
We'll have another few drinks and we'll show you how it's done.
I don't own a
I'm
slide rule.
not planning on sticking around for that, but thank you. And,
no, but you're right. And can I just say, one of the things about having Hal Holbrook in the movie is that I could never hate him. He's the bad guy.
He's being bad. He's such a bad guy. But he's manipulating people and children and ruining people's lives. He's horrible.
Yeah, but he's been the good guy in so many other things. He's earned this. He's earned it.
Kind of like how Leslie Nielsen finally got to be a comedic actor when they had only casted him for serious stuff.
And let's be honest though, he did play a character who ordered the death of a black astronaut, and that's like killing a unicorn.
Yeah, really.
Oh God. We don't watch Archer on this show or anything, gang. Never. But yeah, I keep looking at the screen as if the movie's going to be there instead of down there.
But recall Hal Holbrook was also in Magnum Force. He was overseeing the vigilante police.
Yeah, he was a bad guy in that, too.
Yes.
Oh, so he just
and
wanted
Clint
to be
got him in the end.
Oh, yeah.
You don't like Clint Eastwood movies? What?
Oh, I love Clint Eastwood movies.
Who's Clint Eastwood?
Man's got to know his limitations.
Did he fire a
One of these
shot?
days, they're gonna like tie me to a chair and make me watch Dirty Harry. It's gonna be awkward. A really awkward episode, guys. Be looking forward to that.
You know, Dirty Harry. I
Send
think a series should be made that examines franchises, and if such a series was made, that we hosted, that was in the works, I think the Dirty Harry franchise would be an excellent choice because it's 5 movies. Dirty Harry, The Enforcer,
Magnaforce, The Enforcer, yeah.
Deadpool. Yeah, so it's 5.
5.
And it goes from literally one of the greatest films in American cinema history to, hey, that's Jim Carrey.
Oh, God.
You know? It's amazing what happened to that franchise. Anyway, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, so a thing is, why did
Speech is still going, by the way.
Yeah, the speech is like 40 minutes long, so we've got some time. But why did you pick this movie, Mr. Brown?
Oftentimes, I lay in bed
Oh, no.
and hearken back. No, it's not going where you think it's going, where it should be
It
going.
never does.
To keep viewers and listeners. No, I hearken back to films that I spent a little bit of time thinking about as a kid, and I thought were pretty cool as a kid. And then I think, well, let's watch it again and see if it has stood the test of time and see if hindsight is, in fact, horrifying.
Ooh, I got chills when you said that.
Yes.
Deep shit there.
And this was one of them. There are certain key scenes, you know, the filming of the shot later on when he's stuck in the cave and he hits the rattlesnake. I remember that.
You warned me about that before we watched this. You were like, Darth, I'm going to tell you.
You know what the rattlesnake was, what it was stuffed with?
Fish,
yeah.
They did the same thing on The Walking Dead. Norman Reedus had to eat a snake as well. And
Eat the snake.
It was an eel instead of fish.
Just eat the snake.
But
it tastes like chicken.
but when
how would you know?
When
I've eaten a snake before.
Ew.
When I saw that scene, I wondered if I would ever be hungry enough to do what he did. You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
If people can eat other people, they can definitely eat snakes.
Yeah, that snake would look like a Big Mac. Real little rattler.
It's like the old Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny ones where the guy turns into like a chicken leg. It's like, oh, he looks so good. I'm still alive.
And he's carried away on the steam.
Well, so we've got our 3 astronauts, and basically what happens, hindsighters, is they believe thoroughly they've gone through all the training and all the courses that you have to perform to be an astronaut, and they're going to Mars. And then the government yanks them out of their shuttle, and essentially tells them that
command module.
Whatever.
Get it right, Darth.
I work with nerds. That's the problem.
You don't work with nerds. You work with very cool men.
Yes.
As they labeled themselves.
Yes.
But so anyway, the astronauts get
No,
pulled.
that one bar.
They get pulled from their project. I'm just going to call it that. And then
project.
they're basically told that they have to fake the Mars landing.
Yes.
And, James Brolin is infuriated because they've done all this work and he wants to be a role model for his children and tell them that their daddy actually went to Mars.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't
Your
look at
daddy was married to Streisand.
And then,
Babs.
got the hell out of that situation.
Yeah.
But so they're at odds where Sam Waterston is kind of the jokey guy, which I've never really seen him be. I've seen him be a smartass before, like on Law and Order, and he'll crack an occasional joke, but he's like the Bugs Bunny of the crew.
He is funny.
He's always cracking a joke. And one of his most poignant moments comes when he's telling himself a joke to keep himself motivated when they're escaping this whole government conspiracy. So you've got OJ, Sam, and James. And
and as you said, basically you've got these 3 astronauts. They're on the pad. The Vice President of the United States is there, at KSC in Florida.
AKA Patty from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
And the Big Lebowski.
Yes. That's
Well, no, not the VP. He was the congressman. Howard Johnson?
Oh, the congressman.
He was
Sorry.
the
Yeah.
congressman,
Yep.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about the congressman.
Yeah.
You're right. The one who wanted the extra binoculars.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're a smart
Sorry.
kid.
Oh, how thoughtful.
Yeah, but anyway, so the whole movie I was just thinking about Big Lebowski jokes, because he was the big Lebowski.
Aren't you always thinking about the Big Lebowski?
Yeah,
though?
pretty
That's
much.
not
Anyway,
original.
so you have 3 astronauts who are essentially Apollo astronauts. You know, they very, very clearly everything is modeled, and in fact, NASA
They
helped
supported
them
it.
out.
They endorsed it. Yeah.
Cool move for NASA. They are pulled out of the command module literally during the countdown to launch. It doesn't come back and land on its own. Anyway,
I'm hanging on every word.
yes.
Please make more words come out.
They are taken out of their command module, and it's a great scene because the countdown is very Apollo 13. I mean, it's a typical space movie countdown.
Right.
You know, and then all of a sudden a guy in a suit opens the door.
So what the hell are you doing?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out. Get off the bus.
You need to come
Let's
with me.
go.
Trust me. I'll explain later. And they hop into a Learjet and
Yeah.
no one
Trust
sees
me,
the
we're-
Learjet take it off. That's pretty cool.
We're not enemies here.
Well-
except yes, they are.
They actually, I thought about that and I was talking to LJ about, you know, like, wait, nobody would notice the plane taking off? And he said, don't you remember when the shuttle launches? They've always got planes flying. No one's going to notice.
Well, and
Security
that one guy
Been out
was,
there,
Yeah.
yeah.
and the one guy was staring at that lady's ass. So
Yeah, the vice president.
Oh, it was it the vice
Yeah, the
president?
no,
because the congressman's
'cause-
like, hey, it's the big
Yeah, it's the
command
big,
module over
it's
there.
the big white
You
thing
can't
over
miss
there.
it.
Oh, yeah, he had the binoculars,
Yeah.
yes. Well, it was the 70s. You could still
Yeah.
objectify women. Not like today when we honor you for who you are.
Oh, is that
God,
what you
who the
guys
hell came
call
up
it?
with that idea? It's like our friend Eric. He once told me a joke. I probably shouldn't have said who told me this.
I was about to
He
say,
said no. He
just
would
used the
he
first
would, he
name.
would he would recline in his chair in college and go, "Oh, I long for the days when women were property and property was cheap."
Oh my! And then Beyonce came along and ruined that for everybody.
All the dollar bills.
Yep.
Bills, bills.
He's got his space notes.
Okay.
I brought something special.
Let
course
us see, Robert Klein.
Well, I like to give a
Ernest
shout out,
Hemingway.
to my son.
I saw this on Facebook.
Yes, who went to space camp back in 2019. He is right up front there. in front of the
Danger!
shuttle.
Hey, here.
We'll give him a shout out. There you go. That's my soon-to-be astronaut son. I will
Kick
launch him into
ass.
orbit.
You're actually going to go to Mars. We're not going to pull you out of the command
Isn't that
module.
cool?
Yeah.
That
This
is
was in
awesome.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Very cool.
Rocket Town.
Okay,
And
so
Danger,
I'm gonna
one of our biggest fans as well, so we've got to give a shout
yeah.
out.
So
Thanks,
I'm
buddy.
gonna ask: is it worth sending your kid to? Because I want to send David there.
It is, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a
Nice.
lot of fun. They
Nice.
have a lot of team activities and competitions. And while they were there, the Guinness Book of World Records, the most rockets launched at one time. They had, gosh, 3,000 SD
Wow.
rockets. And just because it was, if you recall, 2019 was the, 30th, 40th anniversary of the landing? 69,
Yeah.
79, 89, 40 years.
Do the math.
40 years since we landed. Thank God I've got fingers. I'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, and one of the astronauts was there, the last one who's still alive. I don't remember his name, but Buzz Aldrin, I think. Was it Buzz?
No shit, Buzz was there.
He was there. Yeah. So
I think you mean Buzz Lightyear.
Oh,
'Cause
to
Al-
infinity and beyond.
Al Warden just died.
Yeah, and Neil Armstrong's been gone for a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buzz. I remember someone was harassing Buzz, and they had this video. He punches the guy in the mouth or something. It's a great
and
shot.
do you know why?
Oh, he
No.
said the moon
He
landing.
said the moon landing was
faked, and
Yeah,
he
and-
just clocked him and knocked him out.
Feeds
I mean,
right
all of his
into this.
85
Yes.
years, you know. So yeah, that fits well into our
Karen
film
Black.
tonight.
What an obscure reference.
Oh, there's your boy Elliot Gould. He
Elliot
just made his
Gould.
appearance, and his whole speech. It's funny how he's trying to seduce his fellow lady reporter because he's talking about the repetitive nature of living in hotel after hotel after hotel.
I'm going to interrupt you to say something I'll regret, which is that Karen Black should never look right at the camera.
You said that about Dennis Quaid in Jaws 3D.
Is she a little askew?
Well,
is she a
well,
Picasso?
her one scene's over, so
She's not the composite features of perfection, no. But who is? I mean, I look directly at the camera all the time, so
Me
I'm
too.
sure. Me too. But yeah, Elliot Gould talking about the repetitive nature of living in hotel room after hotel room and how they look the same from Connecticut to Hanoi, whatever. It reminded me of Fight Club, where Edward Norton's talking about
Yeah.
single serving sugar, single serving cream, single pat of butter. And I was just like, how is that a seduction method? I just don't understand that.
well, that's the cool thing. He's not very good at it.
No, and
You know?
Karen Black actually tells him, she's like, use a better method. And he goes, okay, well, what do you want to hear? I want to jump you. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, cool, I want to jump you. And she was like, jump yourself. I
just love the term jump you. That is so romantic.
Yeah, we'll jump later.
Yeah.
Want to hop on you like a frog.
We'll jump up and down.
Jump up, but get down.
Okay, that's it.
Well, you weren't a kid in the 90s, so that's okay.
Well, I was. Yes, I was. I was 11 years old.
You
when
were
the
a
90s
crotchety
started.
old man since the day you were born. I
He came out angry.
No, I wasn't.
Don't touch
I
me
wasn't
that
as
way.
bitter until like
Hadissimo.
late college.
Oh,
That was
fine.
you know.
That's when you.
Basically, as soon as I went to work.
Well, no. When
I
you,
showed up
when you
with a
saw Star
lollipop.
Wars with Jar Jar Binks, that's when you lost your innocence.
It actually,
you were
yeah,
so pissed.
that was it.
moment.
I can't trust anyone.
Nope.
That's what I learned.
And this is what I love. There's a great scene with Elliot Gould because it's funny. Elliot Gould's character, Caulfield, right? He's friends with a guy named Elliot, who's the first victim of conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Caulfield's friend Elliot is the guy who keeps saying, "Oh, I set up my own." Test to make sure that the readout was working, and it's not. And he keeps telling his supervisors, who then snuff him out.
Yeah, I hope that that our children, when they grow to be of age, are smart enough to realize when people who might be able to kill you are kind of giving you the wave off signal.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't persist.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, you're totally right. That console's broken. Bye.
Yeah, number 6 is broken.
Yeah.
We looked into it. It's fine.
Oh, okay, great. I get paid the same way?
Exactly.
Right.
Awesome.
I get to keep putting.
You're the
food
expert
on the
boss.
table.
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chief, your spaceship's gone off course.
But yeah, it's one of the actual NASA employees who gets snuffed first for pointing out the fact that the readout is off. The numbers aren't reading correctly.
Well, and that's I actually kind of like that because it does sort of get to the point that it would be impossible to fake a moon landing.
Yes.
Because
I think we talked about this before.
There's just so many people involved.
Yeah.
And one of them would go, hey, wait a minute.
well, and they
I'm
even
a
make,
Newton bit, huh?
but they even make a point of that later because the guy who replaces Elliot, who gets snuffed out, he's like, "Oh yeah, console 6 is working great, boss. It's awesome."
Yeah.
And he
Best
just goes,
fucking console.
"It's the best one here."
I would marry that console.
Oh God, but yeah. So then you have Elliot Gould chasing this
Trapper John, yeah.
Yes, chasing the conspiracy theory throughout the movie, and he goes through quite the Steve McQueen level of panic in his car.
Yeah, when they cut the brakes, they
don't just cut the brakes. It like
they do
increases-
everything.
He goes in every direction. It's like Kid. It's just taking over his car.
And what do you call it? It was a kind of a slow whine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It was almost like Tori Belleci was somewhere with a remote control going, ha ha, I kill you, Elliot Gould.
And he survives the most dramatic fall off of an.
He just swims out.
and just-
Well, his windows were open, and that's why you should always have your windows open.
Yes.
yes.
So if you
fair
go in the
enough.
water, you'll be okay.
you can escape.
He gets shot at in the western town.
Yes.
He gets his car gets taken over and myth-bustered in the water.
Yeah, they try.
The most inept
Oh, he gets-
assassins I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, they're so
well, and he-
sophisticated with how they got rid of his friend because not
just
only
disappeared.
he disappears and
Exactly.
they completely renovate his apartment in like 12 hours and they completely change all the records and mail and everything to make it look like a woman has been there for an entire year.
Well, you know what that is? They blew their budget on the first guy.
They got the Queer Eye guys in
Yeah,
there.
they spent a
turned it over.
fortune. They hired an actress. All this stuff. By the
then
time
they were
they
like-
got to Elliot Gould, he's still doing
It's like
it.
we got $35 left. What can we do?
Buy a little thing of flour. The small package, Gary.
Frame him for
Yes.
cocaine usage. So
Yeah,
That was the best.
I know, and I love that they show you his
yeah.
open cabinet.
Yes.
And it's so deliberate that you go, something's going to happen with that
well,
cabinet.
because all he
you know?
has is like one razor
Mouthwash
and
and
mouthwash.
something like that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, these government guys with a warrant bust into Caulfield's place, and they're like, "Oh, look at that! We found the flower." And they frame him for being a drug addict.
Yes.
But I mean, it
And then
does.
it's like tastes it. The cop tastes it. Oh yeah, that's cocaine.
Well, if Mel Gibson was there, he would have snuffed it off. Of
Oh
a
yeah,
knife.
Mel Gibson would have just.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
No, the government came and
They done framed him, and they took
Government
his
came.
baby.
it's
I beat you to it.
Damn it. So the government came, and of course he's arrested. But then the conspiracy kind of falls apart because his boss just shows up and bails him out.
Which I didn't understand because his boss didn't like him in the first place.
No, he fired him.
Yeah, he fired him as soon as he bailed him out of jail because Caulfield is kind of a, play by my own rules kind of a journalist.
But he's not very good at it. And that's what I loved is when his assignment editor is saying, like, oh, what about this story or
where
this
an entire
story
town
or
is poisoned or something.
Yeah,
that's news.
No. He's talking about the stories that Caulfield had come up before that didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought he was
Previous
telling him to do
conspiracy
something
theories.
else.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen the movie. Sorry, and it's a long ass movie. My God, Adam, that was quite the assignment.
We should write the Caulfield extended universe.
The Caulfield Chronicles
with all the other conspiracy theories and how he was actually right about all of them.
Oh man, it would be almost like Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil with that guy with the bees tied to his hands. And he's like, I'm gonna pour poison into the water system one day, and you'll all be sorry. Caulfield would write about a guy like that. We need a story like that. That's what we need to do.
And tell me, wasn't his boss was awesome?
Oh, he was incredible.
David Doyle.
He was incredible.
What other shows David Doyle been in?
Oh.
I don't know, but it was 24 hours, not 48. I saw the same movie.
Charlie's Angels. He was Bosley.
Oh, that's right. He was Bosley.
That was Bosley?
Yeah, he was Bosley. Hi, Bosley.
No,
what
I know
a
who
great
Bosley
job.
is, but I didn't realize
Great
that.
job and a great career he had. But he's a great actor.
I knew I made the right choice going to buttling school. Learn to buttle.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Charlie's Angels would have solved this conspiracy in about a half hour.
Well,
or maybe 22 minutes with commercials.
The movie, the way it's written is
mom.
very, very clever.
Is that
Bruce's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce's wife. Oh, that was
what's her name?
I can't look it
she's
up.
Italian.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, that's why she's Joey's mom.
And she's very famous. Her name is Brenda Vaccaro.
Yes.
It all comes back to
yes,
Friends,
I knew
I'm
that.
telling you.
I knew that.
Full circle.
It does.
Crisscross.
Yes, Peter, that was a crisscross.
No, yes.
No, yes.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm holding.
You don't do Troga?
Oh, I thought you were going for the Family Guy of, yes, Ted, that was the joke.
Yes.
That's what I thought you were doing. But anyway.
So no, but I like the way that the movie is set up because the is it a conspiracy thing only goes up to about the end of act. It's actually kind of weird because it's like act 1.5. It's not structured quite the same.
Well, and the way Jim plays it, he's like, listen, our country is hanging their hats on this whole trip to Mars, and what's really fun. And I was going to ask you both because y'all are so smart and not nerdy at all.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you recognizing that.
How long is a trip to Mars? Because they're missing for a total of 8 months.
It depends on the way you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's so many options.
Yeah.
So many options. Yeah.
Nerds.
Nerd. Revenge of the Nerds. We have to do that sometime.
We'll do it.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's a classic.
Help you. I've heard you say that though. So.
Because remember, Mars and the Earth.
Can't a guy get some privacy here? Jeez.
Mars and the Earth, are they have a
constantly
elliptical pattern around the sun. It's not spherical or circular. So depending on the time of year, they could be a gazillion miles away or right next door. So you got to hit it at just the right time.
Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Buzz has this awesome idea for basically parking a vehicle, a very, very large vehicle, in a long orbit so that you could basically, if you need to go to Mars, you just wait for one of these to be going overhead.
Nice.
You fly on, hook it, get to Mars, let go, land, see Disney World, whatever,
Whatever you want to do.
Welcome to Mars. You came to the wrong place. Futurama. Nobody here watches.
I was about to say maybe that should be our next thing that we watch.
It
depends. No. Oh yeah, because you kind of.
There's so many other things.
That's true.
Like the Goes Wrong show.
Like Community.
Yeah.
You didn't do it right.
Ready? There we go.
Darth and Adam on the podcast.
Nights. Yeah. Betty Grable.
Please watch Community, everyone.
Yes. Please,
you're welcome.
Us.
Please tell your friends about this show.
For real. We never talk about the movies.
But but that is actually kind of amazing though, because it is a show that managed to come back like Arrested Development. So maybe we will see some more Community at some point in the future.
If Donald Glover can decide
Come
to...
on, Donald Glover.
Come on.
Be cool.
Come on, come back, Troy. We love you.
Let's do a Kickstarter just to raise the salary of Donald Glover.
They may be working for a long time,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so where are we at in the cinema right now, gentlemen?
Well, the astronauts have indeed gone along with the plan to fake the Mars landing. And let's not forget that Jim threatened to kill their families.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not just the American
Yeah.
dream that they're trying to support
Right,
and hang the hat on that. All of your families are on the same airplane going home. Don't make me do it. And, it's this guy who tried to play with the astronauts' emotions because he's like, we've known each other for years. And you guys came along, I've known Brew for 16 and you guys for about half that. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to murder your families.
Just in case
He immediately flips
plan
the
A
switch.
doesn't work,
Yeah.
we'll go to plan B.
Because he's like, these are people you don't want to mess with. And so you get the feeling that Jim isn't necessarily the bad guy because he's under the gun, too, by the powers that be, I guess.
No,
Got the shareholders to
The shareholders.
I think Jim does. He has bought into his own bullshit.
No, he absolutely has to make himself feel better about
Yeah.
screwing over his friends.
Well, and when he gets caught in the end,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, no.
such a surprisingly weird choice the way they ended the movie. But
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, 'cause
You
right
haven't
now,
seen that
they're-
since
they're-
1977.
Well, yeah. What my co-host is referring to is the
you don't stop
fact that
doing that.
I can't help myself.
Variant beer, I'm very sorry that Adam does not know how to pour your product.
I like to make a frothy head.
And pour beer all over his own hands. So.
Sweet Jesus, it's on me. It's
Is
burning
it time
my
for
skin.
a break? This man needs to calm down. He's already drunk. Good Lord.
Are you?
I'm drinking from a NASA
pouring.
cup.
Yes.
From the U.S. Space and Rocket something.
And he's going to be high as a kite.
I thought Rocket had a
By
K in
then.
it.
It depends on, yeah. Oh, my sweet Jesus, they misspelled it. I'll just display this side.
So, Adam, I have to ask you, does Lumen taste better out of a NASA mug?
Oh, yes.
Everything tastes better out of a NASA mug.
Does it?
Yeah.
Everything.
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 It would at least
Everything.
be marginally better.
Oh, Lordy.
You know? Well, at least it's in a NASA cup.
Yeah. And
But Variant does provide wonderful, wonderful beers, and we thank you very much.
even when some of
everybody.
us don't know how to pour them. But
I know. Well, teach me.
So
teach me,
the-
Sifu. Yes.
So the astronauts eventually, though, they reach an end to their ability to put up with this conspiracy.
And it's more James
And-
Brolin than the other two because
Yeah, it really is.
he's the one
Yeah.
who really put and yet he's like telling the other two guys because even Sam Waterston, the jokester, makes a point. He's like, I'm the silly one of the crew, and you're the one who got us roped into all this
Right,
NASA
yeah.
bullshit, and now you're the one telling us that we've
Yeah.
got to risk our families to tell the
Yeah.
truth to the nation. OJ and Sam Waterston just want to get back to they just
Well,
want their kids back.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting because I've studied the space program long enough to kind of almost feel like I sort of know these people a little bit enough to say, if you took like the crew of Apollo 12, if Al Bean and was told you got to fake the moon landing, I don't think he would have been capable even if they threatened his family. But I don't know.
The amount of training that goes, the amount of effort and years and time, like I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. And
Well, all of them just wanted to get to the moon.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And if you threaten that, they'd be like, and then I don't care anymore.
Right, yeah,
That was
kill
my
me.
whole.
Yeah.
Because
that's their life's ambition.
think about it. They're on top of a controlled explosion. The odds of them getting back, were good, but not perfect. And they were willing to take that risk. And
Yeah.
if the plug got pulled, and remember, they were all military officers.
Right. Yeah.
Very dedicated, have risked their life many, many times.
Except one.
Wait, who's that?
Jack Schmidt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a geologist. Yeah.
Interesting.
You loser.
Yeah. He's still alive, I think.
Well, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He
why
wasn't
I'm calling him
abused in the
out.
military like many of us were.
Ooh.
It takes time. It takes time off your life. But why are you so interested in abuse?
Oh, don't worry about it. But yeah, here's the
For those of you at home, abuse is a common term used in. Never mind.
She likes chips, dips, chains, and whips. Okay.
I was about to say, I'm not sure where he's going
Okay.
with
Oh,
that.
so
Don't you remember Weird Science?
yeah.
parties.
Before we continue, though, I do have to say I am very happy that you guys are watching Community.
Yes.
And I want to give the ladies and gentlemen at home a recommendation because I saw a show that I am telling you was like the funniest show.
Oh, God. He's been crowing about this for days.
Because I got to have... The only person I know who's seen it along with me is my in-laws. And that doesn't work. You know?
Oh, so you've got to get some like-minded weirdos on board with this. Okay.
No, but it's a troupe of actors in Britain who... They started out... They did a live show called Magic Gone Wrong. Mm-hmm. And then they did a full play kind of concept, like the play goes wrong or something. But now they've actually got a show on BBC. You can see it on Prime, and it's called The Goes Wrong Show, because that's their brand, is their Goes Wrong. And it's essentially, if you've ever been in a, shall we say, not very competent community theater production.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Not that we've ever been.
No, not us.
No.
I'm confused.
But I think anyone who's done any acting or directing or sitting in a theater.
Yeah. Been involved in the theater at all. Well, then I have to say, we have a recommendation. Why don't you tell us about the documentary on the opposite side of the spectrum that you tried to make me cry with? I'm still grieving this particular octopus.
Moi?
Yes.
The octopus
I actually
teacher?
I
octopus
started
teacher.
it, and I started...
It's beautiful and heartbreaking.
It
we
was
will
killing
tell you
me.
that.
It was killing me. Go
It's
tell us.
fantastic.
Yeah. No, it is.
It was your recommendation.
It has come through multiple recommendations. I watched it, and then I've recommended it to dozens of people. Everyone here in this room, Jason and Dar.
All three of us.
Yeah, it's a great documentary. Very well shot. The person who did the documentary was very skilled in camera
South
work.
African freediver who literally befriends an octopus.
And spends a whole year with this octopus, visits her every day, and just explores all the ins and outs of octopusing. Yeah. But you become very attached to this creature, and you will cry at the end, guaranteed. And if you're Jason, you'll cry the first 5 minutes.
I will. That's what I'm saying. I can't.
Because Jason's like, does it die in the end? I'm like,
yes.
Well, the octopus lives for a year, and he spent a year with the octopus.
They never had to film it, man.
But he made a friend.
Yeah.
No, it is an awesome documentary. If you have a chance to watch it, it's on Netflix. It's free, called The Octopus Teacher.
Also on the documentary train, we need to start doing this. We need to start doing recommendations to the ladies and gentlemen at
Absolutely.
home.
Maybe they can play along at home.
Yes.
Where they can learn the handshake from Community and all that good stuff.
You made me think of it. I can't recall the title. It's on Hulu, and it's a new documentary series by Errol Morris. And if you've never seen anything by Errol Morris,
I can't look it up.
Go today and watch anything he's ever done. The Thin Blue Line, or he does documentaries that will just change the way you look at documentaries.
Which is what documentaries are really supposed to do.
Good ones.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, it's like Werner Herzog, Errol Morris.
He's an octopus, and she teaches the free diver how to feel emotion.
Octopusing is a complicated business.
I'm not, okay, now that's like a new term, and I'm not going to use it.
Octopusing?
Yeah.
Yes. The one that the Bond people said, we can't do a song called
We just can't.
Can't
we?
Maybe we can.
Biggest
Get our top men working on it.
Oh, God.
Ooh, our top men.
And the bottoms, too.
Yes.
But, so there's a movie.
Well, we're doing Capricorn 1, and now they are filming them in the quote-unquote command module, which is on a film stage. And James, I'll honor his...
Hey, I call Carrie, so...
Brew.
That's true.
Yeah.
Brew.
So you've got a crush on Carrie.
Yeah, so Brew... all the wives are there in the command center, and Bruce sends a message. He says, I think back to the time we went to, I don't remember the exact location, but it was a wrong
Prospect
place.
Park or something.
Yeah, it was when we went to Disney World.
Yeah.
We went to Disney World. I really loved it, and it turns out they never went to Disney World. And Elliot Gould.
Elliot Gould reaches really far.
Yeah. He does.
Well, because they actually went to Flagstaff, and he says, I'm going to take our kid to Yellowstone or something.
Yeah.
I know I'm wrong about the one that he said, but Brew is trying to give his wife a clue, like, hey, something's amiss with this mission.
Okay, that gives me an idea. We need to come up with a predetermined code.
In case one of us gets
In case one of us is ever... So if I ever say something like, I like mangoes, I hate mangoes.
You guys say such weird shit all
Okay,
the time.
but if I'm ever, flying through space, and I call you guys up, and I'm like, yo, I'm in space.
I'm on your 6. Well, I'm on your 12. That means I'm on your 6. Good.
If I ever make a comment like, I like mangoes, or the mangoes here are good, it means someone is, holding me
They've got you
hostage.
at gunpoint.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay.
So we just kind of go about our...
Oh, yeah, don't do anything
don't do
different.
anything.
But now
Okay.
you know.
But
we
now
know.
we know what happens.
We know.
So
when,
if I say
when
anything...
it's just the two of us on the podcast from then
So
on
if I start
out.
talking about how, like, The Big Bang Theory is a great show, you'll know. You'll know.
Such a hater.
Someone's put a gun to his head.
Such a hater.
No, just shoot me.
That's another great show, by the way. I
was.
did enjoy that. Yeah.
With Laura San Giacomo.
If you guys ever start talking about Keith Carradine, I'll know you're in trouble.
Okay, that'll work.
Instead of David Carradine, I'll know for sure. So I'll
Just you start bad mouthing Johnny Depp.
Oh,
Just
Ooh.
just say
I'd just die. I wouldn't even. I'd be like, they don't need to know where I'm at. I can't do it,
Yeah,
Johnny. That's how much I love you.
I
I've
hate
given
the-
up on
yeah.
Johnny Depp. That's
Yeah.
what you say, and we'll know she's
Sure.
a
I hate
very
America like I hate Johnny Depp. She's lying.
No, I think Mr. Brown already knows my emergency code. I left my phone in Jim's car. I think that's when.
Yes,
I
that's
think
when I
we
will come
know
to the rescue.
I'm in trouble. So yeah. Those are our different codes.
Good.
So mangoes, Johnny Depp, phones,
Yes, any of
Keith
these
Carradine,
things,
any of
we
those
will
things.
interpret them.
Hindsighters, come and get us.
Johnny Depp
Help
is
us
eating
out.
a mango while looking for his fucking phone.
In Jim's car.
Damn, that's pretty awesome.
is pretty
Let's
bad.
remember that we can all
Yeah.
use
We
that.
can merchandise that.
Yeah.
That ties us all together.
Meanwhile, Osama bin
Absolutely.
Laden's going, what is he talking about?
Good lord.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I'd like.
He's been laden a lot. He's got many, many children.
Yeah, because they put a bunch of rocks in him. They laid him down. They threw him off the back of his ship.
I remember. Yes.
I think that's funny.
So this is where the conspiracy theory ran out of money, because the Queer Eye guys renovated
Yeah.
Elliot's apartment to make it seem as though another person had been living there.
Is that mid-century modern? No.
It's more like Shivers motif.
Yes. The look was popular in the 70s.
Canada chic.
You have to expect that.
Oh God! Now it's a crossover.
Well, she's wearing rubber gloves for a
yeah,
reason.
yeah,
But there was no loose ends. I mean, the mail.
yeah.
Everything was, it was almost like the fella never existed.
No, that's what I'm saying. They did such a thorough job with the conspiracy
It's
of
a
getting rid
good
of
thing.
Elliot.
It's a good thing. The only person who knew him apparently was Elliot Gould.
And,
That's
and
true.
and it just turned out to be his good luck that Elliot Gould
Yeah.
is an investigative
Yeah,
journalist
yeah.
who came through the one time ever.
Well, yeah, because that's like if you
Here's the car scene.
And here's
yeah,
the
the
car
car
scene.
scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so great.
which was used in A-Team.
The Fall Guy.
Oh, it's in the Fall Guy too.
Fall
Okay.
Guy. It was, they used it as stock footage for a lot of shows.
I believe it because
Yeah.
it's all over the damn place. Like it's not a cohesive like Smokey and the Bandit or Steve McQueen kind of a car chase scene or anything. You're just swerving. It's like Mario Kart.
No, it's like
and he's not hitting
it's
a
a Mario
single
Kart.
thing.
I love it. It's so true.
I mean, every single
have to
control
like
in
a
his
turtle
car.
shell to be-
is-
His
meant to
emergency,
say-
the oldie style emergency
Yeah.
brake couldn't be pulled.
And then the car increases in speed despite how
Yeah.
much he's turning, so he must have hit one of those power stars or something.
Yeah.
Well, it
and-
makes
and-
sense.
He can't, he can't shift gear, so he can't put it in neutral.
Right.
Which always gets me when I watch these sort of scenes in movies, because that's something I always thought was that we would just put the car in neutral.
Well, 'cause and I have to ask you, gentlemen, at what point would you just tuck and roll?
At 100 miles an hour,
Well, because he's
I'd head for the water.
Well, that's where he winds up.
That's what
Yeah.
he did.
Except it's very Vanilla Sky. He smashes into a
Yeah.
wall before he actually hits the water. Except Vanilla Sky, they actually just hit the ground. But
It's okay. He's Trapper John. He's fine.
he's all right.
He can treat himself. He was the original Dr. House. That is
There
a
he
great show.
goes.
That's it.
And here he goes up.
Off the bridge.
Oh, slow motion. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And he doesn't quite hit the...
Oh, I thought he had hit the wall.
No. Did they have seatbelts in?
No.
They weren't
No.
required at the very least.
I don't think that had
I don't
a
even know that they were
seatbelt,
there,
yeah.
but if they were, they weren't required.
Yeah.
because they weren't required.
I don't
Neither
think
required nor desired, actually.
Yeah, I don't think Elliot Gould used protection in the car.
Not with Karen
I
Black.
mean, if he had been wearing his raincoat, he would have gotten out of that water so
Yes, he
much
would have been
more
fine. Donald Sutherland somewhere laughing his ass off at him. You know.
But yeah, so meanwhile, you find that the
Stately Wayne Manor.
yes, you find that the astronauts still trapped under the boot of the government right now, or have they made their escape?
No, they
yet?
are.
They're about to make their escape.
Yeah.
So
Because this is when they burn up.
oh right,
Yeah.
because what
The heat shield
the heat
Yes.
shield
breaks free.
and
If you remember, that happened, was it to the Columbia? Something happened with the heat shield and it burned up.
Yeah, it got a hole in it.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that they didn't even like glance at the fuel gauge. I know
They were
they're
in a
I know
bit of
they're
a
in a hurry.
hurry.
I know that, but it's like just take a look.
well,
real
because
quick.
James Brolin is walking the other two. Because OJ and Sam Waterston are so down to just keep going with the
Yeah,
whole conspiracy theory, and James Brolin is the one who's like, no, wait.
He's the wild card.
Well, it's not just that. He's the one who figures out, oh, right now, Jim is making a speech about us right now because there are one of two things that could have happened. Either the heat shield
Yeah.
comes off, or what was the other option for them to die? Something about
I don't remember.
other faulty equipment.
Yeah.
Either way, he's like, no, he's sitting up, and that was beautifully shot because Jim is making that speech while James Brolin is telling the same information to OJ
Well,
and Sam
and
Waterston.
also whenever Jim is doing the speech afterwards in the press room, when he's like pontificating, you know, is that the
No,
speech?
that's what I'm talking
That's the
about.
speech you're talking.
Because
Okay,
James
yeah, so
Brolin is
you're right.
talking to the other two astronauts while Jim is giving the press conference.
That's the thing about this movie. And I have said
And there's
this.
so much good dialogue in
Yeah.
that movie too.
I've said this a million times, and it, you know, yes, I'm an old person, but I really miss when actors got dialogue and they just got to
They got to
stand
go
around a
with
pool
it.
table and talk.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
It was more natural. You didn't necessarily have to
Eve-
rely on.
Even whenever Bruce's wife, when she's telling her kid to get out of the room,
Oh yeah,
and the kid's saying no, and it's like
my mom has said that to me.
I've been
like,
in that. Yeah, I mean, I know
something
that.
bad is
Yeah.
happening, and your mom is
Yeah.
panicking, and she's just trying to get rid of you, so you don't.
And you're
see, so you don't
instinctively like,
witness
no.
Yeah. Something important is happening.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Get out of here, Billy! Like,
Yeah.
just move. But yeah, so Brew and OJ and what is Sam Waterston's name in this movie? I keep calling him Sam Waterston, but
Sammy.
they keep us.
His name is Michael Moriarty, oddly enough.
Oh my goodness! What are the odds?
And OJ, this was actually the movie where OJ
Pete Willis.
Pete Willis.
Yeah.
He's the funny guy.
Yeah, OJ, you know, shooting this movie was like, conspiracies. I like conspiracies.
Well,
And Sam
did you get
Waterston
this-
said, "You mean in movies, right?" And he goes, "Yes,
Yes.
in movies."
Yeah.
Did you get the
Yes,
joke I texted you about that when they crash land the airplane and they split up the supplies and go in three
Yeah.
different directions
Yeah.
and they don't give OJ the knife, and I was like, that was the best
Yeah.
laid plan. You don't
That
give
was
OJ
foreshadowing.
the knife.
Don't let him have
We
the
need
knife.
to make a special edition of this movie and just CG James Brolin going, and
No.
no.
On second thought.
That's right. You take the
Yeah.
gloves, OJ.
Yeah.
We'll take the knife.
Yeah.
OJ says, "Oh, the glove doesn't fit."
That's because he was.
Well, suck it up, Judge Ito.
And I felt bad because they gave OJ Flint and the other two got matches. I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's not
Well,
fair.
you know,
Yeah.
that's
Split
all.
those evenly. I don't know. But
It was the
Cigarettes.
70s, yeah.
You know, cigarettes. I don't think they were still putting cigarettes in survival things in the 70s. Maybe they
no,
were.
matches,
they were.
not cigarettes.
They were through the 80s.
Oh no, that was
Flint
no,
and
no.
matches.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That was the deleted scene.
Oh, I was like, what the
No,
hell
no,
are
no,
you guys
no. There was
talking
a
about?
deleted. That scene was longer because there was actually cigarettes in there.
Oh,
And then- yeah,
I didn't
so-
know.
okay, yeah, sorry.
Because you know, when you're walking through the desert and you don't have much water, the first thing you need to do is light up. Absolutely.
Hey, that calms the shakes.
It
does,
I guess so.
Yes.
Well, that's actually there along with a pair of Ray-Bans, so that whenever the bad guy helicopter shows up, you put the Ray-Bans on and the cigarette in your mouth and go out like a man.
You know, the helicopter pilots were pretty cool. They would actually like look at each other. And then they would turn.
Yes, I know.
They would look, and then they turn, and then
Like,
And it was so
dude, did you see that?
And it
Yeah.
was so Lethal Weapon because what happens toward the end of the movie is Elliot Gould goes looking for James Brolin, the one surviving astronaut. Spoiler alert from this movie from
Yeah,
1977.
So, well, they crash the plane. They go in the desert. They split up.
They split up in because they were going west to begin with, right?
Yeah. So they went
north, south, and east.
Yeah. Whatever.
Because wherever they were coming from was the wrong direction.
Which was a great idea because that's immediately what Jim said.
It's like instantly.
Which way was the plane flying? Then check east, north, and south.
And then as he's like every time they because OJ's the first one to die.
Yes.
He's digging around for water in a dried up riverbed, and I was like, well, OJ was he was a sports player, so he would know what dehydration really feels like.
He should have some Gatorade with him.
He should,
right?
He should.
Didn't he endorse it at some point?
Probably.
Oh, guaranteed. They paid him. He did.
Don't ask Gatorade. They don't have any memory.
And that
I don't know.
OJ's death.
Who's OJ?
Well, his character's death was kind of underwhelming because he just sort of sat there and he's like, oh, okay, because he thought the helicopter's coming to get him were just birds, and he just sits down and he gives up. Yeah. Meanwhile, Sam Waterston is scaling like Mount Everest in the desert, and he's giving himself a pep talk and like telling himself jokes because he's the funny guy, and he's telling this heartbreaking story about this guy comes home and his brother tells him that his cat died. And he's like, you don't deliver news like that. Tell a guy that the cat climbed on the roof and then it wound up in a tree and then it ended up dying. It's like this elaborate story, and then it's like, so how's mom? Well, she's on the roof. And he's climbing, and so he gets all the way to the top of this mountain, and then the two choppers are waiting on him, and he's like, she's on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the
She's
flares,
on the
they
roof.
each got to have a flare.
Use the flares.
When you pop a flare, game over.
Game over, man. That's
so they
very
are
Hunger Games.
They are being hunted down.
Yeah.
And ultimately what happens is you have Elliot Gould figures out what's going on. And
sort of his girlfriend, after his boss busts him out of jail and then immediately fires him.
Yeah. There's backstory there.
There's so much,
But so Elliot Gould figures out what's going on, and he puts it together that I got to go find this astronaut because
I got a friend lost in the desert.
If I have him, I've got the whole story. I can blow the whistle. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So he ends up hiring
a crop
duster played by whom? I know you know this.
I'm
not even asking you.
I love this actor.
Can I have a hint?
No.
Okay, his initials are TS.
Who loves you, baby?
He likes lollipops.
Dear God.
Oh.
This is heartbreaking.
Oh, I just want to.
I thought you guys liked me because I was younger.
We do love you.
I know,
he played
but it's
Kojak. Does that help?
Kojak.
It's Kojak?
It's Kojak.
That's not Kojak.
Yes, it is. It's Telly Savalas.
Telly Savalas.
I couldn't have
one
told
of the greatest
his real name
Greek
if I
actors
tried.
of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a brother,
What was his brother's name?
George Savalas.
You don't give him
who was in Kojak with him, the guy with the curly hair.
Yes. And
Anyway.
Telly Savalas played Blofeld.
Yes.
All right, I'm
in a
over this
Bond
game.
movie.
Which one? Can you tell me?
Oh, he was in
O.H.
On Her Majesty's Secret
There
Service.
you go.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
yes, yeah.
And that was the only time Bond got married.
Yeah.
For a short time.
Didn't
Dame
go
Diana
well for him.
Rigg. We have to
know,
recognize
yes.
Dame Diana Rigg today.
Don't do that. That's important. She was an Avenger. And she was someone else. What other character did she play?
I'm not telling you.
Was in Harry Potter, right? She was in Harry Potter.
She was in a Bond film.
Oh, well, that's of course.
Yeah. We'll leave it up to the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate both of you so much.
No, but Diana
right now.
Rigg, she did. She just passed away.
Yes.
Emma
Emma Peel. My first true love. And it continues to be. If you ever watch old videos of Emma Peel.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever spent my nights doing that, but
Well,
yeah,
you're going to.
And it's funny because I think of
maybe in your head.
Whenever I think of the Avengers, I have this hard time not thinking of
Honor Blackman.
No, Honor Blackman, Pussy Galore.
Yes, of course. Yes. And you had to say that on the air, didn't
you? If you say Honor Blackman, you have to. Yeah.
It's required.
No, but I always, instead of thinking of what's his name from the Avengers, I always think of Ray Fiennes, which is so weird because that movie was so not. Great.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Was that
Sean Connery was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the bad guy in the Avengers.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen the Avengers, the British version from the 60s? Oh, she's in for a treat. Yeah. No, it's
Apparently,
good.
I have a new homework assignment.
It's good.
So, no.
Shuffle episodes of that and The Saint, And
Oh.
that's like a whole weekend.
And the
Right.
Wild Wild West, if you like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
we,
the Wild Wild
we
West.
don't have a weekend right now, gentlemen, because what are we doing this weekend?
Go ahead and
Plug.
We're in. Wait, hang on. I have an image. Isn't that a beautiful image?
Did you
Shakespeare in the Park.
Shakespeare in the Park, which is
Yay.
happening on the days of.
This
Friday?
coming Friday, October 2nd.
I was gonna cut to the graphic.
Oh.
Like we didn't know,
Yes.
And
When is it happening?
It's going to happen, and the cost is.
Are you going to be like highlighting?
Yeah.
Free.
Yes.
Free Shakespeare.
Free Shakespeare.
bitch.
In the,
Pickle Shakespeare.
Yes.
Oh my. But yes, your three beloved podcasters are going to be in Shakespeare in the Park in Alpharetta again at the Grand Pavilion at Wills Park. So get excited.
Yeah,
And
there'll
if
be
you're
other
local-
people in it, but we're stars.
Yes. We're the cool
We're
kids.
kind of a big deal.
We're the cool kids
We're the
now.
cool kids. It's true.
We're the veterans.
But yeah, so come out and see us.
Yeah, we're doing-
Bring chairs, bring a picnic, bring something to drink. So long as it's legal to drink in a park.
And remember, if it's not legal for you to consume it in the park, make sure you share it with us.
Exactly. Come backstage. We'll have a sign.
Backstage.
Outdoors.
Backstage.
But anyway, we actually do have some performances coming up this weekend of the 2nd and then the weekend of the 10th. So come out and see your favorite podcasters, because maybe you're going to see Darth hand Adam's ass to him in another scene
I know.
in Shakespeare.
Again, she
Again.
seems to make a habit of that.
Again.
And
When
if
you're
you
good at
are
something.
if you are our Australian fans, fast track your passport, make your flight reservations now, and you can just catch our last show.
Check the fuel gauge before you
You always
leave.
check the fuel gauge.
And,
Because-
and make sure you buy tickets for the show, even though they're free, because that'll get you right through the passport.
Actually,
people.
when you buy a T-shirt on our show, you get into the Shakespearean show
yes,
for free.
totally.
That's what happens.
And in fact, if you buy any merchandise from us, you get the VIP experience.
Yes, you do. Where
You-
we
you
will
get-
say thank you.
You get to meet us in person, and we will sign your merch.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we
whatever.
will.
Guarantee.
Yeah.
Actually,
will
we
do
would
that.
do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
Absol-
we'll sign whatever you hand us.
I'm not agreeing to that.
He is so cheap and easy, isn't he? I love him.
I'm not agreeing to that one. Especially if my hand has to go below anyone's waist. That's
it's
not
not
happening.
called friend business. It's called show business.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. So, that being said,
Our astronauts have just crash landed
Yes,
their
they
Learjet
have.
in the middle of the desert. They're wearing white,
yes,
thankfully.
yes.
yes, they're wearing really heavy NASA spacesuits.
Yes.
Which only one of them even implements to make a bandana. The other two just wander around. Maybe I'm being stupid, but don't astronauts have survival skills?
I was actually just about to say one of the things that they give astronauts is they go to SEER school.
yeah, like
know,
extreme
yeah.
survival skills.
And they would learn things like when you're in the desert, just find a hole to crawl in during the daytime and then go out at
Yes.
night.
it's
You
the
gotta go out at night.
It's the opposite of being an Arctic snow dog,
Yes,
where the
yeah.
snow dog burrows into the snow to be warm at night. It's the exact opposite.
But to be fair, and I know that's a quibble as far as the technical
And that's
accuracy of the
the
movie,
last time
but
they see each other.
the movie does really take steps to be a believable movie. And it pretty much accomplishes everything. There's nothing in the movie, and typically when you watch, especially from this period, a space movie, it's always just ridiculous.
It's kind of conjecture, and
Well, and they're
the
just
science is
they're all like
a little gray.
like they didn't do the stuff where they moved in slow motion because it's low gravity
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They didn't, they really made an effort, and I don't know if, it was because of NASA's help, but it's actually a very self-contained, believable, with one exception movie, and the one exception is Elliot Gould sort of figuring out everything at the end.
A little bit.
yeah.
I think, honestly, not Disney World. I think SeaWorld gave more help to Jaws 3D than NASA gave to Capricorn 1. I'm not going to lie. I think that's just the impression I get.
Well, if you look at Mission Control, like, that's all NASA gear. Like, because back then
yeah,
it was,
but they had Man from Uncle gear in Jaws 3D.
well, that's true.
so,
Like the screens, the big
Fight me.
screens, those are like, that was really complicated to do front projections off of, information like that. So, I mean, NASA helped.
I wasn't
They
around
did,
during
you know.
this time.
Well, any publicity is better than no publicity
Yes,
at all,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And that was kind of a slow period for NASA. It really
Yeah, I
was.
mean, 77, they were done with everything. Apollo, Soyuz,
yeah.
Skylab.
Skylab had crashed. There was about to burn up. In fact, I remember an SNL sketch with John Belushi and a globe showing us how it was going to crash and to then burn up into the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, and this is a scene you wouldn't get in a movie today, where Bruce's wife, she's just been informed that her husband has been killed. That all three of the astronauts are supposedly dead at this point.
She takes it very well.
She steps up because she's sitting there reading a bedtime story to her small child, and it's a really
it was Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, it was
Dr.
a really
Seuss.
complicated rhyming scheme and everything, and the kid's sitting there correcting her because her voice is shaking, and her husband has literally just died that day, but she's sitting there reading to her kid, and you know it. In a weird way, it does move the story forward.
It does, yeah.
But you wouldn't get that kind of scene these days.
And what were we talking about last week? No, it wasn't during the show. When we were rehearsing, we were talking about push in with music.
Yeah.
And it's like you watch this scene, and it's just her sitting in the bed with the kids reading.
Yeah.
Simple.
But with that push in and the music, it's just enough. It really, really connects.
It becomes its own thing. Yeah. Oh, and there he goes, James Brolin.
He tore a little bit of his leg
Yeah.
Pants off and put it around his head.
Now, there was actually a deleted scene where he hallucinated and saw Streisand.
Singing
Yes.
My Funny Valentine. Yeah.
While she was talking about cloning her dog.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're
Yes.
insane. That's how he got out of the hallucination, because they didn't have that technology back in the 70s.
But the thing that I think is realistic here is I think after you've been out in the desert and you're severely dehydrated, your lust for life fades pretty dramatically.
I would imagine so.
And when you see the guys coming to kill you, it's like, all right, just get it over with.
Well, that's what I was saying about
Yeah,
OJ,
fuck
is
it.
that it was just kind of lackluster. He was like, oh, birds, because you hear him talking about water, and then he sees birds, and then it's actually the helicopters, and he just sits down and gives up. And so,
Which it does make the desert a bit more murdery than it's
Murdery.
You know, like I watched this thinking, I feel like I could have done better than them. You know, I feel like I could have lived longer.
You would have survived.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just your advice just then, a few minutes ago, actually, where you were like, burrow into the sand, stay somewhere cool, as cool as you can get during the day, and then travel at night. Yeah. But no.
Do what the rattlesnakes do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it was a part of the plot line.
So you're telling me you could outlive OJ, because he's older than you,
I don't know.
Jason.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
You might outlive him just by regular standards. Just saying. If he continues with his destructive behavior. But yeah, and then
is he back in jail?
He was years ago when
Because he had a firearm related incident.
Yeah, he had something happen to him.
something
Yeah.
keeps cropping up, and one of his kids is having problems too of similar nature, like they keep committing
Surprise,
felonies or
surprise.
something. I don't know.
You think if you got off after murdering your wife, you'd kind of lay low.
Well, I don't know, when you're psychotic enough to release a book that says, I didn't do it, but if I did, this is how I would have done it. Are you really still
I missed that one, but
you didn't know about that?
That's
No.
straight up crazy.
No,
straight out of Compton, baby.
It was a huge controversy, because people wanted, publication companies wanted to put it out, but then everybody was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? You're promoting the murders? Like, that's horrible."
It's like Hitler tells his side.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not publishing it. Don't care how much money it's worth.
Well, and I won't say who the people involved were with the story, but this was years ago when Michael Jackson died. There's a guy and a girl. There was a guy and a girl in the room with me, and the girl was like, "Oh my God, Michael Jackson died. That's so tragic. He was such a great man." And the guy was like, "He was a pedophile." And she argues, "No, they never proved it." I said, "They never proved OJ either." What does that tell you? So it just.
Yeah, there's a lot that's never been proven, but we're pretty
just
sure
because there was no conviction doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, I remember when OJ was acquitted, and we were. I mean, I grew up in a small town. I was in high school at a small high school, and there was like cops out because if he had been convicted, they just assumed there were going to be riots. You know,
There probably would have been.
I think there would have been.
Well, because he was such a tremendous celebrity. Everybody knew him from some arena, whether they watched his movies or watched him play ball, whatever. Yeah, he's the juice. He was a big deal. But
and even the director of this movie, who, as we were talking about before, he didn't want to cast OJ.
Why is that? You never completed that story. So what was
the rest of the story?
Well, the reason was there were so many other, actors, African American actors who had been, working really hard for years and years and years, who deserved to step up and to be in a movie like this. But because OJ was such a celebrity, they thought it would bring more people, more butts in the seats,
and it probably
in the box office. And it did. And he even admitted at the end that OJ, he tried really hard and he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I was about to say
he does a good job.
He does.
You can tell that. But you get the sense that if there had been a more established actor,
there'd be more dialogue, perhaps.
A lot
more dialogue.
He speaks way less than the other two characters. That's true. I think Sam Waterston actually even has more lines than James Brolin. Because
he would never
since
shut
he's
up.
always yakking and telling jokes. I think so. But Sam Waterston's death was the hardest for me to watch in this one for sure.
But I think it's now time. Did you talk about the Friends episode?
Oh, okay. So this
is
for our hindsighters who might be a little bit on the younger side. Friends is this really old show.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way, that they wouldn't remember Capricorn 1, but Friends is modern, it's hip, it's
well, I'm somewhere
cool.
in the middle. So
when did it go off the air?
It went off the air in 2004.
Ooh, ouch, that was, 16 years ago?
I'm pretty sure.
Sweet Jesus.
It was a while ago. So like I'm saying, we've got people on both sides of the spectrum with our hindsighters. So that being said, a lot of you will remember this just like I do. I had never heard of the movie Capricorn 1 except for in this context, where Joey, on an episode of Friends, was cast in an episode of Law and Order when Sam Waterston was the main detective on the show. Joey invites his grandma over to watch. She's his biggest fan, and he finds out too late that he winds up on the cutting floor. And he's upset because he's like, my Noni's my biggest fan. This is going to kill her. And so he's pointing at the screen and tries to pass himself off as Sam Waterston.
That's me, Noni.
Yeah, Joey from Friends, looking like Sam Waterston. Look it up. It's ridiculous. And he goes, that's me, Noni. And she goes, and the grandma doesn't speak a lick of English. So she goes, no, Joey, Sam Waterston. And he's like, no, that is me, Noni. And she goes, no, Sam Waterston, Capricorn 1. And Chandler's like, she doesn't speak English, but she knows Capricorn 1.
Which, what did Sam Waterston do between this and Law and Order?
He's on Grace and Frankie now, but which is way later. But I don't know about between this.
I hate that show.
But question is, when you saw that, did Capricorn 1 mean anything to you at all when you heard that?
I mean, I got from context that it was obviously something that he had been in or participated in, just because she would, he's an actor and they're talking, it's just in all that context. But I had no idea what Capricorn 1 was. No.
But, you think if you didn't recognize that, it would be just kind of throwaway and it wouldn't stick in your brain. I'm always amazed at how much Darth can remember. She's got a brain that just absorbs it all and then can pull it out at a moment's notice.
Everything except my Shakespeare lines. But,
yes.
Well, you'll get there. What are you gonna do? We got time. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we got
we got 2 days.
Hey, I nailed my speeches. I wasn't the one.
Well, you guys were fine last night.
We did all right.
You were great.
I didn't.
Oh, by the way, I loved your To Be or Not to Be.
Oh, thank you.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Jason and I are both Hamlet.
Yes.
Find out how.
But it's just like,
it's the most underwhelming surprise ever. Oh, they just both do it.
They have the same brain. 2 halves of the same brain. Once
you're
again.
getting there. We're already finishing each other's sandwiches. So
yes.
No, it's going to be a great show.
It is. We tease, but it is going to be awesome. You guys should come and see it.
And it's going to not be super hot.
No.
Yes, because it's in October.
Yes.
Imagine.
So anyway,
Hal Holbrook is now visiting.
Yeah. Let's get to the
Joey's mom.
Let's get to the end here, which is that Elliot Gould, assisted by Telly Savalas,
who is a
crop duster
pilot, right?
And the scene itself, the stunt pilot who was in charge of the whole thing, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Hal Needham.
No.
Close.
He died. He died like 2 movies after this in a plane crash.
No, but watching this for the first time, I was like, I bet Hal Needham is flying both those helicopters and that crop duster, and he's the guy hanging onto the airplane at the same time.
Movie needed some Burt Reynolds, yeah.
It really did.
No, but he said that the aerial sequence at the end was the most difficult thing that people had done in aircraft for a movie.
Imagine.
Ever. And when you watch it, at first it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Oh my God.
But then you see the canyons they're going through. It's insane.
Yeah, it
I
really
think that's
is.
where the money went. That's where they had to do the Mario Kart car with Elliot Gould, because they were like, forget that. We've got this insane plane chase.
But just imagine that on a large screen. It would be like one of those virtual realities where you're hanging onto your seat because it was the camera was right there going in all different directions. And I only caught the camera helicopter once. And I did get a picture of it, and I was going to send it to you.
Okay, I didn't see it once.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
But it did remind me of Lethal Weapon, because the helicopter goes up to the crop duster, just like with the limo and the helicopter in the desert with Mel Gibson, and he's basically just like, hey, is anybody in there? And it's just so intricately done. I was like, who is that talented?
Put your goddamn head down.
Who is that talented as a pilot that they can literally just tap an aircraft against another? It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that Telly Savalas, on the promise of 50% of something, is totally okay destroying 2 obvious government helicopters and killing their crews.
Yes.
Well, that's an even better deal, because honestly, it goes from $125 for looking for an obvious convict, or what he assumes is a convict in the desert. Perverts. And then he crashes the helicopters and calls the pilots perverts. It's so great.
He is a colorful character. I did love the Telly Savalas piece.
Out.
But the good thing is he has a son who is a lawyer who can represent him in the murder trial. Because Elliot Gould gets to go, I didn't ask him to do any of those things.
That was of his own. My head was down. I couldn't see what was happening.
Yeah. But the very end of the movie, and I kind of wish, and I normally don't. I normally like it when they cut something off, Don't go too far. Just give me what I need, and then that's it. But in this one, the President of the United States, who's been missing the entire movie.
Yeah, you just hear his disembodied voice making announcements.
Yeah. He attends a memorial service for the astronauts of Capricorn 1. Yes. With a really good monument, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The monument they had, it was
beautiful.
Yeah. And, of course, that is the moment when Elliot Gould arrives.
With James Brolin.
Who is not dead.
And somehow has the energy to just run full force after being...
Well, they hydrated him.
Yeah.
Before he got there.
OJ brought his Gatorade sponsorship.
I just wish that, they had pulled up in an old crappy truck and Telly Savalas had been driving it.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been the best.
Yes.
Still yelling, get your goddamn head down.
or if the plane landed on the street.
Calling the president a pervert.
Yes. I voted for you, you pervert.
That would have been classic.
Oh,
but we get this
poignant ending, right?
But it pulls me out of the movie so
because it's just
badly.
So bad slow-mo.
Well,
the slow-mo was too long, I thought.
Yeah, and it's not even just slow-mo. You see Elliot Gould and Jimmy Brolin running towards the camera through the cemetery and running in this very, very jarring slow motion. Mm-hmm. And then it keeps cutting from them to the people at the funeral. So you see Hal Holbrook realizing the jig is up, he's going to jail,
right?
Blah, blah, blah. But they're not in slow motion.
No.
And so it goes slow motion, normal.
Slow motion,
and it's
normal. Yeah, I know.
Like, you expect Hal Holbrook to go, what's wrong with it?
He's taking plenty of time. I'm going to exit stage left.
He could just leave.
Yeah, he could escape if he wants to. Maybe it's through the perspective of the wife doesn't even ever actually really...
She doesn't notice until, I think, at the very end, she turns in.
But it could be through the perspective of the wife, save for the fact that, she doesn't notice until the end, because otherwise it could have been just from her perspective.
Who was looking in that direction?
His son.
No, the president.
Ooh.
Oh.
And what did you do in the 70s when you wanted to show the point of view of a cyborg?
Oh, God, where is this going?
That's what this movie is actually about.
This is
Yes, that's it. The president is a Terminator.
Oh, my God.
This movie is in the same universe as Terminator.
I love it. And then he
decree
liquefies
it.
and disappears.
Now, I'm curious, how close are we to wrapping? Because
Pretty close, yeah.
I can last about another minute before. Do we want to take a break?
We can take. I mean, or we can bounce.
Yeah, I was about to say, we pretty much discussed every facet of the movie that really,
Yes.
stood out, unless we're missing anything.
Then you can start with me for Alf to Seinfeld, I guess, because I don't know how much longer I can make
Let's come back for Alf to Seinfeld.
We'll be right back, ladies and
While
gentlemen,
Mr.
in
Brown
about
relieves
1
himself.
second.
Thank you.
And we're back.
Thank you, guys.
You feeling better there, Mr.
Oh
Brown?
my gosh, it's like a 2-ton weight. That's the way I feel. Light and fluffy once more.
Oh my.
Your pants fit better. That's how you know it was a good one.
Well, I mean, pretty much.
I give it a
pretty
5.
much all the beer's
I've
gone.
polished my
I give it
beer
a
off.
5. I'm
Capricorn.
jumping ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. Alf to
Yeah.
Seinfeld, I have to go 5 because this is the first
never
time.
The first
it?
time
Yeah.
you've seen it.
I haven't seen it till today, so
It's exactly as good as I remembered it.
And
Yeah.
I enjoyed it immensely. It was a great movie, and I loved the dialogue, and I loved the characters. I
miss movies like this.
Yeah. But I did enjoy it, but it's a straight 5 for me.
This was one of those movies that whenever I was a kid, like one of my favorite things was on Sunday night. I think NBC and ABC both did it. I know ABC did, where they would do their movie of the week. Mm-hmm. And like
beans and cornbread. You're welcome. So they're weekly movies.
I remember those days. The movie of the week.
Yeah, the movie of the week.
Wow.
And
Those were great.
I remember like hanging out with my dad, and we would, it was always like, oh, I hope it's a good movie, because if it's a good movie, me and Dad will sit here and watch it.
Yeah.
If it's like, some crappy movie, which
Because
frequently it was.
Because back in the day, hindsighters, you had to sit through these things called commercial breaks, and they were
Like
complete-
cavemen.
Yeah, it's just
And if you wanted to change the channel, what'd you have to do? Actually, leave your chair.
Tell your
Send your
kid.
kid.
That's why I had children.
Yeah.
Move the
Yeah.
bunny ears.
Yeah.
Right?
Many times going click.
Yeah.
Is this it? Click.
because their little arms are so short that they can't
Yeah.
see around.
You probably don't even remember the cable boxes that actually had a dial?
No, I remember. I was just young enough that I was the kid turning the dial because we had an older TV down in my basement. That was the kids' TV because my parents had the nice newer TV up in our living room, and the basement was like our
with the
playroom.
RCA remote control.
Yeah, so whoever was oldest in the room, usually either my grandmother or my brother would like, Jade, get up, go change the channel, because I was the baby, so I had to get up and change it, and I couldn't see what I was changing.
Well, you know where the term clicker came from?
Do tell.
Because it clicks?
Well, the first remote controls were not dialing. You actually would click it and it would advance one. So if you missed your station, you had to click all the way around.
Oh, man.
Through all 13 channels that we had.
And you know that dads were so pissed off. They were, God damn it, I gotta go 10 more channels.
I know.
Oh, I'm back.
We're back. Back to the news, which I watch every night.
Well, and we even talked about when Darby was here for it, because he was talking about, his caveman days, where you had the, what was the button that went immediately back to its
Recall.
The recall
Yeah, the
button.
recall button.
I was about to say
The greatest
redial, and I knew that
invention
wasn't
ever,
right.
yeah.
Because he was like, oh yeah, I was sitting in my little room watching my TV, and I was watching it, and so I had the recall, the recall on Nickelodeon on the other side. So when my mom would come to check on me, I would hit it really fast.
So mom comes in and you're screing or have an erection, and she's like, "What's wrong? You go, Caillou." Just Caillou.
Blues. Oh God. So straight 5s from both of us.
Five.
All right. Just to be a little different, I'm going to give it a 6.
Alrighty.
Because as a child, I couldn't appreciate the relationship that Elliot Gould had
He's doing the
with
math.
Karen Black. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, my friend. It's like 5.6666 image of the beast. It doesn't happen very often. But no, I really appreciated Elliot Gould and his relationship with Karen Black and the dialogue, and Hal Holbrook, his long, very long. I mean, that was a lot of work to memorize that. Nowadays, they cut so many times. You just have to know one line. It was a great great monologue. But no, I enjoyed it again. And I'm glad I recommended it, and I'm glad I could share it with the two of you.
So it gets a 16 divided by 3.
There you go.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Equals X, where X is the score. So you at home, get your slide rules.
You
Well
at home
played.
Specifically,
Full circle slide rules.
Yes, exactly.
so many slide rule jokes, and we'll close out with a slide rule story, because I remember when I got my first TI-84 calculator in high school, my dad...
The Cheat-O-Matic?
Yes, no, my dad was flipping out because it was actually required on the syllabus, and they were incredibly expensive calculators. Back then they were at least $100 a piece, at least.
Yeah, I remember trying to justify that to my dad.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And my dad looked at me and he was like, "Baby, why are these things so freaking expensive?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'll show you. Like, see how I can do a graph, and it can do this and predict, like, if these lines are going to intersect, like, I can do all this." And he goes, "What? You're allowed to use this in class on your test?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're doing some complicated math." And he goes, "I had a slide rule growing up. Like, what the hell? If I had this, I'd be president of the United States by now."
No, I can say this because the statute of limitations is run. But whenever I was in high school,
lawyer.
No, seriously, when I was in high school and I got the TI-85, and I realized, okay, so it's got a screen this big, and I can just write stuff in it. And so I would literally take like...
Kids would cheat on tests with those all the time.
Oh, yeah, I would take like a French test, and I would just open it up to the right page and just put it down on my book, on my backpack.
How do I
So
conjugate this
I could just
again?
look over every once in a while and just, there it is.
Yeah,
Never
'cause-
had one teacher catch on to it.
Well, I think they caught on to it since.
Cheated in every class. Every fucking one.
So you're my attorney. How secure am I supposed to feel right now?
Well, if
legit is your
we were in
education?
Florida, they would have already, scanned this podcast and pulled my license. No, I just like to say that, they gave me this device. They made us spend the money on
That's
it.
true.
I
It was
just
required.
used
You
it.
leverage it to its full
Yeah.
capabilities.
Oh, you
Yes.
want me to use this thing? Sure.
But you better be off book by
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
all I'm telling you. So, all right. And so we have to give a shout out to our 4 biggest fans, besides our super fan, Katie, who stands alone in her own category. We have Mr. Danger Brown.
Yes.
So thank
love
you for
you.
listening, Danger, and awesome job on NASA
Space Camp.
That's awesome. We've got Cody. Thank you, Cody, for recently buying some merchandise.
Yes, indeed.
I think he actually got an Oh My God Adam item.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Then we've got, of course, Kay Mooney from YouTube and Angel on our Facebook all the time. We appreciate you guys so much for listening and tuning in. All 5 of the listeners that we have. We're so appreciative, and we hope you guys keep tuning in. Australia, we still love you.
Oh, we love Australia.
They're there.
Good
They're
night.
there.
Oh, I know.
They're there.
We love you, France. We love you, Japan. We love all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to our official 3rd co-host, Mr. Brown.
He found the applause instead of the wah, 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 wah.
You just had to say it.
Yeah, you had to say it. Yeah, you're going to be the new host.
April 1st is coming up in like what?
Yeah.
Yes,
2021 sometime.
Advance notice there.
But yeah, so this has been Jason, Darth Jader, and Adam B. This has been Hindsight, and good night.